Hi, I'm Jocelyn Ruggiero, and this is Snippets. My guest today is Dr. Megan V. Smith. Dr. Smith is an assistant professor of psychiatry and child study at the Yale School of Medicine. She is also the founder and director of the Moms Partnership, which is a community-wide initiative to promote the mental health of pregnant and parenting women. Hello, Dr. Smith. Thank you for being with me.
Good morning, Jocelyn.
So, my first question for you is, how do poverty, depression, and trauma impact a woman's pregnancy and her subsequent parenting?
Sure. So, depressive and trauma symptoms really impair multiple facets of a woman's lives. And it's very important to, I think, not pathologize women in any way, but to simply say that things like eating and sleeping, a lack of interest in activities that you usually took interest and pleasure in, all of those things are really impacted by depression and trauma. And so when you think about how those impact women in pregnancy and in parenting, starting in pregnancy, we know that depressive symptoms and trauma symptoms are much more likely to increase inflammation in the body. So these inflammatory processes that then lead to an increased likelihood of preterm birth, of delivering a low birth weight baby. So unfortunately, women who are depressed in pregnancy have that increased risk factor for premature babies. In postpartum period, we know that depressive and trauma symptoms really impact a woman's ability to bond and attach with her child. And that's, those are really pernicious impacts that are also sometimes really persistent into adolescence. And we know some things like maternal, what we call sensitivity, which is a mom's ability to really understand the mindset of her child, that is greatly impacted by maternal depression. Even a child's ability to develop language and a child's ability to have other social emotional relationships are very impacted by a mother's mood and mental health.
So a mother's mental health is going to affect not just her relationship with her child, but her relationship with the family.
Right. And I think one other important thing to note about it is that women are overall, at any time in their lives, 2.5 times more likely to be diagnosed with depression than men. Mm-hmm. And that for women, the highest risk period for depression is in pregnancy. So in that 18 to 45 age range. So it really is, a critical factor that impacts pregnancy and parenting for women.
So what happens when women have access to more economic stability?
Great question. So I in my work, I work primarily with low-income women, and I really see the impacts that poverty and economic instability have on a mother's attachment with her child, but also her mood. We see that even increasing a family's income, $2,000 to $4,000 a year, so as little as $2,000 to $4,000 a year, makes a huge difference on reduction in depressive symptoms for moms, reduction in trauma symptoms, but also importantly, increases a child's success in school, a child's social emotional development. It reduces a child's depressive symptoms, and also reduces a child's conduct disorder, more likely to have these what we call externalizing symptoms. So just those small increases in income really have a tremendous impact on this holistic family structure in terms of the well-being of the family.
And you're the lead investigator on multiple studies, so you have really measurable outcomes on all of these interventions. So this is leading me to my next question, which is, how has the Moms Partnership reached out, and what outcomes have you seen? I know you've gotten a lot of national attention for the diaper bank aspect of the Moms program, but I'm sure there are other ways in which you've had successful interventions.
I think that one of the biggest successes we've had is around increasing the ability of low-income mothers and families to utilize mental health services. So really nationally, we see that only about 1/3 of people who need mental health services actually receive them. So what we've done is we've created this community-wide, citywide initiative called the Moms Partnership that increases access to mental health services. So what it means is that we're actually delivering what we call guideline concordant, so really high quality mental health services in settings that are not stigmatized, in settings where mothers are interacting with their children and their community. So for example, in stop and shop supermarkets, in boys and girls clubs, in community colleges. So you can literally walk into a supermarket go right next to the floral department and actually receive mental health treatment. And it's really, increasing access and the accessibility of services. But the other piece that we've done is actually have mothers from the community. So in our case, mothers from New Haven are actually delivering these services, trained to deliver mental health services alongside clinicians. So it's really increasing the cultural matching that occurs with the mental health services, and also just takes away that fear. Many mothers worry about seeking mental health services because they fear their children will be removed from their care. It's a very real fear. And so by placing it in this setting that's familiar, that promotes social capital and cohesion, it's really, we've seen this, so what we see nationally, 30%, we see about 80% of low-income mothers now engaging in our services and sticking with them. So as a result, we've seen tremendous decreases in depression in mothers. But what's really exciting is we're seeing an increase in children being ready for kindergarten of the mothers who participate in intervention. So again, really that multi-generational impact from helping a mother.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. It's been really wonderful to hear a little bit about what you do, which is so much wider and more involved. But thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn.
And thank you. We'll see you next time.